Cover your ears, darling.
Wid Yi.
The fuck?
Hang on. Is the official advice from Microsoft not like reboot 15 times till blue
I'm
screen?
not doing that pish. Get us a sledgehammer.
Right, hang on. I really can't be bothered. Actually, control deleting. That's 3, 4. Can we just give up?
No.
Maybe record this on like
Tell you
cassette
what.
tape or Betamax.
Got a better idea.
What?
And we'll get a fax machine and go back in time when it actually everything works.
You know what? I'm going to go to the roadworks across the road. I'm going to get their bloody pneumatic drill for drilling up the roads. That'll fix it, will it?
I mean, this laptop shouldn't be dead. But I don't even think it uses this. What is this software that's gone wrong? So bear with me. I've been away camping this week. I've been out of the loop. So I'm not getting 3G where we're staying, and I went online on
3G.
Friday.
Hello, calling 2011, Martin. They want their phone back.
You know, it's like when you say, I'm going to get the Hoover out. I always thought 3G was the technology, not the actual level of it, if that makes sense. So when I'm on my mobile data, is that what you want me to say? I couldn't get mobile data on my mobile telephonic device.
It's no longer a telephonic device. It's a life invader.
It really is. But
Yes.
anywho, it was like, I don't know, Friday morning, sitting down to breakfast, like, ooh, the world's kind of just stopped. These are the dangers of going cashless. This is what all the people with tinfoil hats have warned us
we
about.
had our COVID outbreak with the world shut down because of organic life getting a flu. Could this be the computers now getting a bit of the taste of their own medicine now, where they go, oh, we're not needed anymore, what's going on? And we go back to cash. And what happens after that? The Skynet comes over and takes over everything.
Well, that's what it's...
We're going to have Terminators at the front door shooting lasers at us.
I look forward to that day. I was about to say, is this like Skynet catches a cold? Is this like the James Cameron movie that never happened? Skynet gets a cold and nobody can do anything.
I'm pretty sure that's how Independence Day finished as well.
It was.
Jeff Goldblum gave the alien race's computer a cold.
Do you think he gave him coronavirus?
While he was absolutely wankered, stumbling about the place, and then he's instantly sober. It cracks me up to this day. I was only 10. I thought, was he not pissed at the time?
And all of a sudden somebody who's teetotal, doesn't smoke, is an environmentalist.
And just says, I don't want you to get a cold. Oh, a computer virus, oh, why not? And then he's able to rattle up all this stuff, and 5 minutes later he's in space giving them good film and all that. Just think it's a wee bit silly.
I was going to make the point more that, you know, this guy who's basically, for want of another word, a hippie, starts
He's a pretty
smoking
shit-looking hippie.
He is. He's like a hipster hippie, but he then cracks out a Cuban. Again, you know, everything that...
Put it this way, if you think you're going to die, you don't give a shit about your health or anything. These two guys, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, thought they were going to die on that spaceship. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be looking at the health implications of having their last ever cigar.
Yeah, but he'd never smoked one, so that's
I'd
like
be
me
up there,
suddenly going...
I'm just thinking I'd be up there with all sorts of horrible laden-draden hookers at the time. I wouldn't be cared if I'm going to get chlamydia and my pee's going to burn tomorrow morning. Why? Because I'm going to die. Now, if they had hookers up in that ship, then they survived and they came down and they're smoking their cigars and they say, well done. Oh my God, my cock hurts.
And we all wonder why Independence Day 2 was complete and utter shit.
Well, Will Smith was off because his character, Steve Miller, got a severe dose of chlamydia, so he's at the Clatty Clinic the whole film, getting all these anti-fucking STD shit, and he's getting his knob looking a bit more... Never mind, he might be back for Independence Day 3, but I don't think Independence Day 3 is going to happen because it was shite.
I was way to say, like, for a movie that was basically perfect, apart from, you know, that whole thing of we'll give the aliens the cold... Apart from that, it was a really, really good movie. The special effects were something else.
It was iconic for the time, and
It
it's
absolutely
still
was.
a good-looking film.
And then Independence Day 2 was terrible. Speaking of the fact that the first one was iconic, I remember going to see that.
So do I.
Do you remember seeing it the very first time? And the bit
blew
where
me away.
Brent Spiner's trying to communicate, and the president's like, you know, can we have a peace? And the alien's like, peace, there could be no peace.
No peace.
And the alien just kind of jumps at the glass.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time I ever crapped myself.
I can't even remember crapping myself. I just remember seeing, like, the White House getting blown up or the Chrysler building getting reduced to rubble, and I thought, this is incredible.
It really was. And then they went from that to something that's basically unwatchable.
Do you want to know? The second one was that bad, I can't even remember it.
And did they not bring back, I forget Brent Spiner's character name, but the Doctor who was basically dead because they strangled him.
He was back in it.
He was back, as if he hadn't been strangled.
He was dead. I don't know.
Are we going to ask Google, do we have enough computer power to get Google working?
No.
Wid Yi! All of a sudden I want to go home tonight and watch Independence Day.
I am going to rake out my old DVD of it and I'm going to watch it tonight.
Do you remember the days when you could buy X rentals? I remember running to Blockbuster this second Independence Day was on X rental and grabbing a copy on VHS.
I got it on VHS as well. But do you remember when Blockbuster shut down and they were selling all their Blu-rays and DVDs dirt cheap?
Yep.
I mean, at the time, Max Payne 3 was a new release and it was like 40 quid for it on the Xbox and I picked up a copy for 6 quid. That's my bargain of the day for when Blockbuster shut down.
Are we having a teary-eyed memory?
I miss going there on a Saturday night and pick the video you wanted. It was amazing. None of this Netflix pish.
I remember going into Harrigan. So this is...
It was a Harrigan one I was on about.
Yeah. So the old Blockbuster in Aberdeen at the Harrigan roundabout, it shut down. And it wasn't just they were selling off DVDs, games, videos. They were literally selling, like,
furniture.
The shelves.
Yeah.
I think you could buy the mat as you walked in the front door. There's a guy I know who apparently bought all the fixtures and fittings. So he's got this spare room in his house.
Please say, instead of a welcome mat, he's got the Blockbuster video.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He has the mat. He's somehow managed to work out. I'm guessing he might have done the mix and match paint thing at B&Q. He's gone in with Blockbuster blue and yellow. He's painted all these walls. He's got the old shelves. And I think he's got a sign on the wall at the back as well.
Please tell me, right, he's got like old porn VHSs as well. And when he goes in there, it looks at the back section of Blockbuster video that only the kids weren't allowed in there.
Probably.
So I'm going for Nympho Nurses 3. Am I going for Dirty Sluts Go to Hollywood 7? And he's got this whole load of porn on VHS.
It's kind of worrying that you remember what Blockbuster was stocking in 1997.
I was an early developer. I got into this shit.
Fair enough. I can say no more than that. Right. Thank you to Natasha Evans 895 on YouTube, who's asked, would you completely give up Iron Brew, although she spelt it the weird way, Iron Brew?
She doesn't want to get caught up in a copyright infringement here, obviously.
Possibly. Mm-hmm. Would you completely give up Iron Brew?
Iron Brew
For £50,000. Now,
quite easily I would give up Iron Brew because there's no such thing as Iron Brew.
Correct.
Iron Brew is different. Is that what she's referring to?
I'm not actually sure. So she says, would you completely give up iron, as in I'm ironing my shirt, Iron Brew for 50 grand? If it's like the Mankey spin-off Iron Brew, I think that's an easy
that's
yes.
Quite easy. If it's like
every day of the week.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We're going to have to ask Natasha this
Is
now.
this Bar's Iron Brew? Now, if it's Bar's Iron Brew for 50 grand, I think you're more likely to find me cutting off my own cock with a rusty bread knife and shoving it up my own arse.
Wid Yi.
Do you have a nut allergy?
No.
Good, because then this you might consider. For £3,000, would you live off a diet of animal testicles only for a month?
No.
Why not? It's just $3,000.
Animal balls. I'm not living in the jungle. Well, Ant and Dec coming around and go, boy, hey man, look, we got a plate of bull nuts for you.
Well, put it this way: you're getting paid $3,000. You don't have to put up with their shite patter. You just got a plate of balls on your plate, and you just got to eat them. That's it.
How much would I get paid to listen to Ant and Dec's shite patter?
Well, if you think of Ant and Dec's shite patter on I'm a Celebrity, everyone there gets a minimum of $100,000. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to give you Ant and Dec because I can't afford Ant and Dec, but I can afford to give you $3,000 if you ate a plate of balls and that's all you ate for a month.
I don't think I could. However, I now have that memory of Ant and Dec going, "Evening, Prime Minister," for now, from the jungle a couple of years ago. Now that was
yes, Boris at the time.
Was that Boris? I can't remember if it was Liz Lettuce or Boris.
It was. Oh Jesus! Now you've got me thinking now. Vic, I'm not throwing in any lettuce to this either. This is just animal balls. That's why we're asking the question.
It does seem like something they would do on the jungle or the castle. Was that during lockdown when they couldn't go to Australia because of the travel restrictions, remember?
Yeah, I remember that, and they put them up in a really cold castle in Wales in November.
A cold castle in Wales in November that just so happened to have a perfectly functional TV studio in the middle where no rain or outdoor element whatsoever managed to get through.
In these medieval times, we were one of the most technological advanced places, like in...
TV studios here, there and everywhere.
In the 1300s, we had Sky TV.
Just nobody had a TV to view it on.
Exactly.
Dermot Murnaghan was sat there reading the news to nobody.
We were ahead of our times.
Yeah. Plate of... Where were we going with this? Animal testicles.
Animal testicles for a month.
For £3,000.
It's a diet of... I suppose, right? I'll make it a wee bit more interesting here. One day you'll get dog's testicles. Tomorrow you'll get a bull's testicles. And the day after, if you've eaten all your dinner, I'll give you elephant's testicles.
What, for dessert? Here you go, here's your elephant testicles. Would you like some sauce on them? No.
No, thanks. I have a nut allergy. To get out of this, all you've got to do is say you've got a nut allergy.
Okay. I've just suddenly remembered, as well as recently becoming gluten intolerant, what do you know? I'm allergic to nuts. Wid Yi! Right, before we fire into this one, just a quick reminder, if you want to fire us a Wid Yi, you can do that on our YouTube channel, which Natasha had done earlier on this episode.
Smoke signals, carrier
pigeons,
graffiti on the walls.
Yeah, if you're Jacob Rees-Mob, you could send your little urchin ride.
You're obsessed with these urchins.
I'm probably more worryingly obsessed with Jacob Rees-Mob. Jacob Rees-Mogg. I just find the guy like...
No. Jacob Rees-Mob is the mafia name for... He's like Al Pacino in this big coke-laden thing. Hello, I'm going to kill all you cockroaches.
I can just imagine Jacob Rees-Mogg as the Godfather. You'd better do what I ask you to do, Timothy. Otherwise, you might find the results very unpleasant. You might wake up with the guinea fowl at the bottom of your bed.
Instead of riding about in motorcycles or riding about in motorised penny farthings.
With top hats. Never forget the top hats. Anyway, yeah, fire us your widgets. We'll get a look at them. And yeah, we can go from there. We'll discuss. Just like this one, no name on it. Would you rather... smell cat shit for a week or rotten eggs for a week?
Permanently for a week?
I'm going to say yes. It's like that time during COVID. We're talking a lot about COVID this week. Remember when they said you'll lose your sense of smell and then when it comes back you'll only get certain smells again for a little while?
Okay.
And what was it? There was something they said if you had COVID.
You couldn't smell anything.
Apart from one thing, and I can't remember what it was. So imagine that you've got the lurgy, you can either smell cat shit or rotten eggs, but it's going to be one of them, it's going to be solid, and it's going to be for a week.
Okay. Well, here we go. Here's a thought, right? The rotten eggs, that's just like smelling my own farts.
Mm-hmm.
I can smell my own farts.
For a week solid?
I call it recycling.
Would you be homeless at the end of that week?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But the other option we've got, if I did it with smelling cat shit, I've got to have a legitimate excuse to smell cat shit. And the only legitimate excuse I can think of is if you take a cat's shit, they're about 6 inches long, right? And you can put them under your nose and pretend to be Hercule Poirot for a week.
I wasn't going to tell you this, right?
What, you've done poo moustache?
No, I've never done a poo moustache.
You've never stuck your finger up your bum and given somebody a little Hitler moustache out of brown shit while they're sleeping?
No. Have you?
Well...
you know how I was saying earlier on, I've been in Dundee the last few days. I came back today, primarily so we could get an episode of the podcast out, and also because my brother's been cat sitting and I wasn't sure if he was going to feed him overnight. So
is your brother been making little moustaches?
No, he's not, but this is true, right? My cat, I've talked about this before, he'll leave dirty protests in the shower if his litter tray's not changed in time. He's done one better, and I swear to God, this is true. I've thought that he's done this before. I've suspected it. I'm ashamed to say I now have photographic proof. My cat has pissed and shat in the toilet. Like a human.
Can we just say this is the worst dirty protest I've ever seen in my life?
No,
I'm going to cover everything in shit. I'm going to shit in the toilet.
I was going to say it's not the worst dirty protest, but in that respect it is. I got home earlier today and there it is. I'm sitting thinking, why have I left a cat shit in the... Oh, that's the cat.
He's just shat in the toilet.
I mean, he didn't flush, so he doesn't get 10 out of 10 for that.
Well, if cats have opposable thumbs, they can't pull the flush down, can they?
Should have tried harder. So anyway, which is it going to be? Forget about twiddling little Poirot-like moustache, shitting moustaches. Cat shit or rotten eggs? An entire week of having eau de cat shit or eau de rotten egg on you. Which is it going to be?
Probably eau de rotten egg. But I've got another quick one I can ask you.
Go on, man.
Yeah, for 30 quid, would you drink a pint of yak's piss?
No.
Thanks for listening.
Would you do us a favour and check back again next week?
And don't forget to find and like us on the socials.
Wid Yi.